guys, always good. Welcome back from the Uncle Sharma. How are you guys doing? You know what time it is. One day before kickoff, pretty much exactly 24 hours before kickoff tomorrow. And to remind you guys, when it was all different kickoff time, 5 p.m. You keep a look at that Bologna where it's going away to what might be our new bogey team. Really, I mean, it has been kind of this season and also recently, of course, Radio Gate and all that stuff. Years, that's afflicted us, Bologna. And if you look at the recent record Inter have against Bologna, this is why I think they're starting to become a bit of our bogey team. Last time around, of course, in the Coppa Italia, we lost to them 2-1 after Zexi came on, changed the game. And then before that, at home, it was one of those performances that weren't very convincing at the beginning of the season. 2-2. Again, Zexi scored in that one. Seeing a little trend there. And then last season, they also beat us at their home, at their ground, 1-0. In the rain, I remember that one. That Orsolini dagger hit different. But then before that, we smashed them around as well. But of course, that 2-1 there's the Radu Gate one, the catch-up game, which was Atalanta for us recently. But the Bologna catch-up game really did the same. So, yeah, not an easy game. And of course, Bologna, high-flying Bologna this season. I'm happy to see them doing well. I grew up not in the Bologna region. I grew up in the Modena region, but Bologna wasn't too far away from me. So for that reason, I always used to have a little bit of a soft spot for them. And Thiago Motta as well, always liked him as a coach. I think if you guys have been following me on my channel, when I speak about Serie A in general, when he was at Spezia, I was a big fan of his work at Spezia, and I'm glad he had a chance at a bigger club. And I'm not surprised that he's doing well, but I'm surprised how well he's doing at Bologna because, they're pushing for Champions League spot very strongly. But people, when they talk about Thiago Motta, they keep talking about the patterns of play, or maybe they even think that he's an attacking coach. But actually, what Thiago Motta has done with his Bologna team is actually defensively, he's made them a real solid unit. And in Serie A, as much as things are changing over the last few years, the last few seasons, teams are getting, a bit more open, a bit more attacking. Defending is always rewarded. Good defending in Serie A is always rewarded. And look at this. Shouts out to Calcio Datato on Twitter. There's an account that's back online, actually. They went away for a little while. They used to use them a lot. So it's good to see them back. But here's a little graph they made of percentile between comparing top 5 league teams and the expected XG against. So expected goals against, and you can see Bologna now are in the 96th percentile, so in the top 4% of teams in Europe in terms of the expected goals against. So look at that type of improvement. When they used to be under Mihailovic, look at the 2020 and 21 season, awful. But even last season, you can really see Thiago Motta's work was already really good, and that's what he's turned this Bologna team into. Yes, they play some nice football, some nice patterns, especially build out from the back. He's brought in. You'll see some patterns actually not too dissimilar from this Inter teams in terms of when they play out from the back. You'll see centre backs joining into midfield, maybe a bit like Sambo Kema or Calafiori. One of these guys joins up into midfield as they're building up, almost like John Stones, or we see Acerbi or Pavard doing for us. Pastoni and Pavard doing for us. Very fluid, no set, positions for them. Even though Thiago Motta is a positional style coach, he seems like he's given a bit of freedom there. And in the final half, we know the final third, as we've always already talked about, Joshua Zirkzee, guy to keep out for. For us as well, it might be, they're talking about 40, 50, 60 million price tag, and Bayern obviously have a buyback clause on this guy. So it's probably out of our reach, but it's definitely a guy worth keeping an eye on because he is technically so supreme, really good to watch, and he's really taken a step up this season. But he plays almost like as a false nine, even though he's a big guy. in the Bologna play with a single 9 in the 4-2-3-1 formation. He barely ever spends time in the box. He's very much a modern striker. He reminds me in terms of modern strikers, Harry Kane. He drops deep a lot to spread the ball, to spread the play, to link up with his teammates. And then is the midfielders that are doing a lot of the running in behind. Lewis Ferguson is the guy to watch out for, the Scotsman. He's the captain of the team, chipped in with quite a few goals this season. And also the wingers, whether it's a Salami maker or Ndoye or Orsolini, of course. You got to watch out for their runs in behind. So they're a team that doesn't give you too much of a focal point. The focal point Xerxes moves around all over the place, and we've seen our centre backs can struggle with that, especially Acerbi, De Vrij. They like to have a guy that they can stick to and be old school man marking, whereas the right centre back, left centre back are a bit more positional. So it'll be interesting to see how Inzaghi approaches this, because Bologna have done well against us in this sense. And then obviously we know Bologna like to keep possession, and I expect that tomorrow. I reckon they'll probably beat us in possession, probably slightly. As you can see, they're 55%, second in the league after Napoli on average possession. And then the passing accuracy is always in the top 5, whereas that's where Inter are best in. And Bologna, as I said, all talk about nice patterns, nice football, Xerxes, all this nice stuff. But look at that. Look at all the way to the right. Defense, third in the league. Only 3 goals more conceded than Juve. Obviously, no one's catching up to Inter this season. It's amazing to see how good we've done with top of every single thing. But look at that. 27 games played, 24 goals conceded. That is a fantastic result. And you can also see, Torino there, really, really good. Surprising, Lazio are also quite good in the defensive side of things. I thought feels like they were much worse this season. But yeah, Bologna, they've become a hard team to break down. But this Inter team, of course, with our 60, how many goals we got? 69 goals. 69 goals. Grow up. We should be able to break this Bologna team down. Predict the lineup. So actually, it's funny because in my scroll down below, I put in heavy rotation expected. But just as I started making the video, I refreshed this Sky Sport Probabili Formazioni page, and initially they had De Vrij in here, and then they had a bit more rotation. They even had Klaassen in midfield, and Arnautovic and Sanchez up front, which was crazy. That was like real heavy rotation. But now, and I expected some rotation, but Inzaghi's not going to go crazy with it. We know Inzaghi. So Acerbi looks to be back again. I don't know if I would risk him with Atletico Madrid in coming week on Wednesday, but it's good to see Acerbi back in the squad and also potentially be able to start. That's really good news. I guess both HAKAN and Acerbi, if we want to play them against Atletico, you probably don't want to play them cold. You do want them to have a bit of a 50-60 minutes under their legs. So maybe that's Inzaghi's thinking on that one. And I agree, especially with the HAKAN. He's going to have a big job being the regista away at the Atletico Madrid stadium. Midfield, we know Mickey and Barella. Mickey especially, we know he's just unmovable object for Inzaghi. But I would have liked Mkhitaryan to see a bit of rest ahead of the Atletico match. At the back, Bisek comes in for Pavard. I guess, there's some rotation and a bit of rest for Pavard there, which I don't disagree too heavily with. Bastoni keeps his place. Augusto comes in for Di Marco. That's an interesting one. Again, I do agree because, we know Di Marco. He definitely, physically, I think he struggles with the back-to-back games. Darmian continues ahead of Dumfries. I know Dumfries started the last one and then he got subbed off at halftime, which was the same thing that happened to Darmian. Hopefully, he doesn't get yellow carded this time. And then up front, no Lautaro, which is a surprise, but also, it has to be Lautaro's match, man. The Atletico, I want him to score away at Atletico because they were the team that was supposed to sign Lautaro before us. And of course, we know the whole narrative story around Lautaro, the world of football. It doesn't matter for us, but it's important for us for Lautaro to take this next step. Obviously, they're probably going to demand more money once he takes that. But we need our captain this season, who has been stepping up in all the other competition. He just needs to step up in Champions League now. So if he does get a rest, I'm happy with it. And overall, I mean, our position, why is Inzaghi? I know I saw people complaining online that, why is Inzaghi rotating so much? Guys, we are plus 15 now. We can drop points. Like, it's not the end of the world. Yes, we know. I also mentioned it, last week or so, that I want to go for those records of Juve of 100 plus points, 103 points, whatever. But let's be realistic and let's be objective. The Serie A, I'm still not going to say that it's secured, but you've got so much breathing space in the Serie A. Atletico, that game is going to be very intense. You need the players to be physically ready, and you need to give them that bit of that breathing room physically. You don't want to have them tired out against the Bologna, because it's going to be a tough game. And as I said, they've been a bit of a bogey team this season. But yes, it's heavy rotation, but as we saw against Lecce, now even a heavily rotated Inter is able to do the job. And you can always then in the second half, if things are going wrong, you can always bring on the big gun. You can bring off Sanchez or Thuram, and you bring on Lautaro. Frattesi, I think is not, his injury wasn't serious, so he's going to be on the bench. So we've got Di Marco on the bench as well, and HAKAN, he's probably going to get 50-60 minutes max, I reckon. So I still think this is a good team enough to do the job. On the other hand, if we look at Bologna, yes, they've been doing well. I would say they're probably overachieving a little bit. We know who to look out for, Joshua Zexi, but of course, Lewis Ferguson, as I said, the captain, but also their kind of midfield. He's kind of their Frattesi, you could say. He's the one who's given that license to go into the box as an auxiliary striker, or even as the striker when Zexi just, goes roaming all over the place. Fabian, of course, Giovanni Fabian, we got to keep an eye on him. He's got, he's 3-4 goals this season. He's doing pretty decent. I was always very happy with this move for Fabian, because I wanted him to go to a coach like Thiago Motta to develop him, and he's doing exactly that. There's even rumors, we might take that buyback option on him, 12 million euros. Interested to see, so you got to keep an eye on him. And Dan Ndoye, pacey, tricky winger, keep an eye on him. Of course, we know about salami maker, hard worker, but also can do some random good skills here and there. And Calafiori, who's been one of the revelation centre-backs of the season. But yeah, good team, been performing very well, but nothing crazy, outstanding. Oh yeah, one guy to look out for, Odegaard, if the real ones will remember, used to be part of Inter's Primavera, Jens Odegaard, from the Spalletti's first season, 2018-19, 2017-18, and then he kind of never really was doing much, and then last season he kind of exploded in Eredivisie. Now he's back in Serie A, so definitely you got to watch out for them. We know as Inter fans. But yeah, that is the preview, guys. My prediction for the actual game with this type of lineup, I don't see. Yeah, I'm continuing with my conservative predictions. I think this is going to be a draw. I think our win streak, we're on like 11 win streak. I think this might be the game maybe where it comes to a close, where the guys are maybe thinking about Atletico a little bit, and high flying Bologna, continue to be our bogey. So I'm going to go for like a 1-1 or a 2-2. Of course, I hope I'm wrong, and then probably this crazy machine that Inzaghi's put together is going to prove me wrong. But that's what I'm going to go for. You guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you make of it? What do you make of the rotation? See you for the post-match. Actually, no post-match reaction tomorrow because I'm away. Family things to attend to, unfortunately. But probably we'll do something on Sunday instead. But keep a lookout on the channel, and keep a lookout on CBS Sports Golazo, you guys in America, in North America. I might be appearing on there for the Atletico game pre-match and during the game. I don't know how it's going to work, but just heads up. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.